let us get started. We'll be starting off with the very first category. I did rearrange them. So the very first category that we'll be starting off with is Best Re-Release. The nominations that were voted were Mass Effect Legendary Edition, Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, Near Near Replicant version 1224744871139 Alan Wake Remaster, Diablo 2 Resurrected, Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturnal HD Remastered, Pokemon Brilliant and Diamond and Shining Pearl, and Fatal Frame Maiden of the Black Water. So this was for games that come out before, but they were re-released this year. And the winner was ah, Mass Effect, the Legendary Edition, taking 6 of the votes, over 24% of the votes. Followed by the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles coming up in second place. Well, second place was a three-way tie. Well, actually, a four-way tie between the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, Near Replicant, Diablo 2, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, followed by Alan Wake, Shin Megami, Fatal Frame, and then Legend of Zelda, The Skyward Sword was in last. So chat voted for Mass Effect as the best re-release of the year. Haven't played any of the Mass Effect games, so good job, chat. I got no opinion on this one. Good job. I was kind of surprised Skyward Sword was not higher up there because it was Zelda, to be honest. And I got until this list, I totally forgot Diablo 2 came out this year. I totally forgot. All right, moving on to the next category, which is Best Game Expansion. So, it is the best game expansion that came out for a video game this year. Now, the game itself does not have to release this year, as Ghost of Tsushima and Final Fantasy VII Remake both came out last year, with Death Stranding's director's cut coming out 2 years ago. I don't even remember how long Doki Doki Literature Club came out. But the nominations were Ghost of Tsushima Iki Island, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, which was the Yuffie DLC. By the way, just speaking about that for a second, they originally, when they released Final Fantasy VII Remake on PlayStation Plus, you were not allowed to upgrade to the PlayStation 5 version. Therefore, you were not allowed to play the Yuffie DLC because it was only available on the 5. Well, they changed that like 2 weeks ago. So if you happen to have a PlayStation 5, all 5 of you, you can now play the DLC for just $20 if you ever download it and you get your hands on a PS5 sometime. So pretty cool. Death Stranding Director's Cut, Doki Doki Literature Club's Plus, Disco Elysium's The Final Cut, Final Fantasy XIV's Endwalker, and Doom Eternal: The Ancient Gods Part 2. Those are all the ones that were voted on. And the winner is Ghost of Tsushima Iki Island. It was very good. I don't think this is a bad I don't think it's a bad win right here. It was a very, very good one. So good shit. Good stuff. Good stuff. It won with 8 of the votes. Coming in second place was Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, which I was actually kind of shocked about, seeing as it's only available on the PS5. I was kind of shocked by that one. Third place was a tie between Endwalker and Doom Eternal. I was also kind of surprised by that one because the Endwalker hype was it was incredible. Like people have been looking forward to that expansion forever. So I was actually shocked that one didn't win. But eh, there we are. There we are. Last place was actually Death Stranding's director's cut. Breaks my heart. Next category is best mobile game. With game that you can play on your mobile device, right? Nominations were Pokemon Unite, League of Legends: The Wild Rift, Fantasian. That's how you say it, right? Fantasian. I forget how you pronounce this one. Marvel's Future Revolution and Lords Mobile. Winner was Pokemon Unite, getting 15 of the votes. This is actually the biggest landslide victory in any category. Yeah, 15, and second place got 2. So, hey, there you go. I believe Pokemon Unite is the mobile game, the MOBA game. You can also play it on PC, I believe. So, hey, those were all the beginning awards. Now we're gonna go into the genre ones. Coming up next is best fighting game. Nominations were Guilty Gear Strive, Dead or Alive 6, and Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. And chat picked Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. This had me laughing. You guys are trolls. There's no way Guilty Gear Strive should not have won this. But this is also this is also the lowest voted category of all categories at 21 votes. So, out of the 26 people that voted, only 5 people didn't vote in this one. So, fighting games are not as desired. And then look at you horn dogs bringing in freaking Dead or Alive 6 in second place. Oh my gosh. Nigel Thornberry can't be denied. Well, I can see why Dead or Alive got votes. I know. I was sitting. No, for a while, Dead or Alive was actually winning. In the beginning of the votes, Dead or Alive was actually in the lead. I was like, okay, dudes. All right, sure. Okay. I see what's going on here. All right. All right. Okay. All right. Best sports and racing games coming up next. Best game with a focus on sports and racing. Nominations were Hot Wheels Unleashed, Forza Horizon 5, MLB The Show 21, Riders Republic, FIFA 22, Mario Golf Super Rush, and Knockout City. And the winner was Hot Wheels Unleashed and Forza Horizon 5. We had a tie in this one. This is the only category that had a tie. Since I didn't vote, I wasn't going to tie break it. This is there was a bunch of categories actually that had ties, but this ended up being the only one that had a tie. So we have 2 winners. I've heard nothing but great things about Hot Wheels Unleashed. I actually watched a little bit of it yesterday on Twitch. Someone I followed was playing it, so I decided to tune in and watch it. It looked and Bearded One is the only person I ever heard talk about it. It looked fun. It looked fun. And for I've never played any Forza, but I did watch a little Forza Horizon and it looked pretty all right. Third place was Mario Golf, coming in with 5 votes, and Hot Wheels and Forza both got 6 apiece. So last place was Riders Republic and FIFA. Knockout City ended up getting 2, and MLB The Show walking away with 2 itself. 2 itself. Next category is best sim and strategy game. Sim or strategy game. So nominations were Age of Empires 4, Inscription, Evil Genius World Domination, Humankind, and Voice of the Cards, The Isles Dragon Roar. And the winner was Inscription. Taking 9 of the votes, 1 over Age of the Empires 4. Only 1. That's pretty close. That was pretty close. I don't really have an opinion on any of these, seeing as I didn't play any of these. I've never even played an Age of Empire game at all. But it seems like the series got a little bit more popular because they had a bunch of re-releases this year, right? Age of Empires 2, I think, got re-released, and I've been hearing a lot more about it. I kind of forgot about Evil Genius until this. Um, yeah, I totally forgot about the card game. I didn't even know what that was. The card game was a nomination that someone added in. I had no idea what it was. I looked it up, and we watched the trailer for it at the award shows like twice, and I totally forgot about it. It was it's like a Square Enix card game. I don't think it did too good. Yeah, I don't think it did too good. The game looks pretty good. Inscription? Yeah, I saw the girl who won Content Creator of the Year last year, Alana Pierce. She's now a writer on God of War Ragnarok, actually. Uh she picked that as her game of the year, Inscription. Saw her talk about it on Twitter last week. So, I watched Vi play it. It seems like it was pretty cool. It seemed like it was pretty unique. Well, then I've heard some people say they felt like it was like Slay the Spire, but I don't even know what that means as I've never even played Slay the Spire. So, best sim and strategy game goes to Inscription. Next category is best family game, aka best Nintendo award, because majority of the games are Nintendo. A game with the best focus on everyone. Nominations are WarioWare, Get It Together, New Pokemon Snap, Mario Superstars, Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, It Takes Two, and Mario Golf Super Rush. We got 2 Mario games here. That's cheating. And the winner, actually 3, because Wario. That's cheating. And the winner is It Takes Two, outbeating New Pokemon Snap and Crash Bandicoot 4 by 1 vote. 2 sixes to 7. Pretty close. Pretty close. Unfortunately, Mario Golf did not stand a chance. Neither did WarioWare. I was kind of surprised WarioWare didn't get that many votes. I remember the GameCube version of WarioWare being so popular. It was so popular. I feel like Mario Party is what you use to divide your family. I heard Superstar is a really good game. I hear it's a very good game. I played in this list. I only played Crash Bandicoot 4, and it was a very good game. It was very good. I easily recommend it. I don't remember what I voted in some of these. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. Oh, that game is super fun. WarioWare. I kind of forgot it came out this year. I also kind of forgot that the new Pokemon Snap came out this year because like a week after it was out, it seemed like it was dead in the water. Um, yeah, I never heard anyone else talk about it. Mario Golf, I saw people play after it released. I still see people play it actually. on my followers list. I got like two people on my followers list who play it at least like once a week. I can't say that about new Pokemon Snap. Not at all. I do see people play superstars though. Like Lily plays superstars sometimes once or every 2 weeks. So yeah, I imagine replay value on Pokemon Snap is kind of not there. Kind of not there, but It Takes Two wins this. Pretty good. Pretty good. That's the game that won the game of the year at the Jeff Keighley game of the year show. So, all right, next category is best horror game, which was not a category at the game of the year show. Jeff Keighley's, and I don't even understand why. Best game with a focus on horror. Nominations were Little Nightmares 2, Resident Evil Village, The Medium, which I totally forgot came out this year, Dark Pictures Anthology House of Ashes, Chernobyl Blight, and Fatal Frame Maiden of the Black Water. And the winner is Dan's favorite video game, Resident Evil Village. Feels bad, man, Dan. One with 2 votes over Little Nightmares 2. Nope. Oh man. What? I was kind of surprised. I think a lot of people forgot about the medium. The medium, I looked it up, came out in January this year. I think a lot of people forgot about it. It was an early game. Also, it didn't get it got a lot of negative comments about a lack of replay value and being short, being like only 6 hours. I shouldn't say only though. It's where unlike Village is short, but you can also replay it. Wasn't the medium only on Xbox for a while? I think so. Yeah, I think so. It had some kind of exclusivity when it came out. Yeah. Um, I won't lie, I was actually kind of shocked that Little Nightmares 2 got as many votes as it did, to be honest. Just with a few conversations I had with Dan about this game, I was kind of shocked it got 6 votes. Just because it seems like not many people, or not many outlets, decided to talk about it, right? And, spread awareness about it. So. I mean, I didn't think Resident Evil 8 was bad. It's just, it's not, as a Resident Evil fan, it's not my favorite. Yeah. I don't think it's a bad game though. I think there's definitely worse video games. Little Nightmares 2 released way too close to Village and got swallowed up. Yeah, that sucks. And all these games except Village, I think Little had a hard time selling. They like when I was looking, when I was like a month ago, when I was making these categories, I had a hard time finding video games for best horror game. I had a hard time. There were not that many horror games that came out, and it made me realize horror is now more relegated to indie games than they are the main. I shouldn't say main, but to bigger budget games now. There's a lot of horror games out there in the indie category. Problem is with that, it's hard to filter through all the indie games that come out a year. It's the only problem with that. But yeah, this is a genre that did not. There's so many action games that came out, but horror had so many little um, games that got any kind of notoriety outside of. There's like one or two outside of these, I think. So, often talk about horror games not selling. Yeah, it's very true. It's very true. Unfortunately, next category is best indie game. We had a lot of nominations in this one. For outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game outside of the traditional publisher system. Nominations were The Forgotten City, Unsighted, Little Nightmares 2, Subnautica Below Zero, Alyssa, The Last Stand Aftermath, Loop Hero, Death's Door, Valheim, 12 Minutes, and Kenya Bridge of Spirits. This was a stacked category. We had 11 nominations. And the winner is 12 Minutes with 2 votes over Kenya and Little Nightmares. Having played 12 Minutes, honestly, it was a very good game, man. The only thing it has going against it is that it's one of those one-time playthrough games. But it was when you figure out what's going on in that game, you're just like, "What the hell?" It's very good. I was kind of shocked that Kenya or Little Nightmares 2 didn't win this one. Um, or Valheim and Death's Door, because Valheim was like super big in the beginning of the year. It was super big. Everybody and their mama was playing that fucking game. Everybody and their mama was playing this game. I saw so many people talk about how they thought this game was great and stuff like that. And like everybody and their mama dropped it too. For who knows why, but I have no idea. But yeah, 12 minutes got 5 votes. Kenya and Little Nightmares 2 tying second place with 3 apiece, and coming in third place was Death's Door, Loop Hero, which was actually free on the Epic Store a couple days ago. Valheim and Subnautica Below Zero, all coming in tied for third place. So, before this, I actually never heard of Alyssa. Nor I never heard of The Last Stand Aftermath either, or Unsighted. I did hear about The Forgotten City, but I forgot about it. And then when I watched a little bit of it, I was like, "Oh, I remember watching a little bit of this game earlier in the year." So, this was a pretty big category. Pretty big category. Indie games are important to our to the industry though. In many ways, they push innovation in ways that AAA games just simply can't do anymore. So I would not.
Thank you.
19 months. Wow, crazy how time flies.
Wow.
Hope you're doing well.
I am doing well. Thank you, Breezy, for the 19. It's 20 months, actually. 20 months. Thank you for the 20 whole months. Resub. Thank you. Thank you. We're going through our Game of the Year show right now, where chat voted on categories in our Game of the Year show. Thank you for the 20-month resub. He gave you 2 sub notifies. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. Next category is Best Action Adventure Game. Best game with a combination of action with exploration. Nominations were Resident Evil Village, Death's Door, Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time, Kenya's Bridge of Spirits, Subnautica Below Zero, Monster Hunter Rise, Psychonauts 2, and The Last Stand Aftermath. The winner was Resident Evil Village, destroying the category. Poor everything else. That's two categories that Village wins. It got 8 of the 24 votes, taking up 34% of the votes. I don't know if you can see it, but I put down the percentage of the percentages at the bottom too. Coming in second place was actually Monster Hunter Rise with 5 votes. Third place was Kenya Bridge of Spirits. Fourth place was Death's Door and Crash Bandicoot. And last place was Subnautica Below Zero, Psychonauts 2, and Last Stand Aftermath. Village, so far got two chats picked two of them. All I can remember about Subnautica is the main character just completely forgets about their original motivation. Yeah, that was my criticism about the game. Yeah, when we played it, it was fun. I was also it also was half as long as the original Subnautica. Like like I looked at my play times. We played Subnautica 1 for 60 hours. We played Below Zero for 30. And they I don't know. I had fonder memories of the first one than the second one. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, but I'm doing pretty good, Breezy. I hope you're doing all right. I hope you're doing good. I had voting open for the past 28 days for chat to vote on categories. So we're going through all the nominations and categories that chat voted on for our own Game of the Year show today. So I'll say that I'm doing pretty good. Hope you're doing good. Um, yeah, I was not shocked by this at all, to be honest. I was actually shocked that Monster Hunter Rise got as many votes as it did. Really, I was also shocked that Psychonauts got as little votes as it did. Because dude, I have not heard one bad thing about Psychonauts 2 at all. I've heard bad things about Rise, Below Zero, Kenya, Crash Bandicoot, and Death's Door, and a bajillion about Village. I've not heard a single bad thing about Psychonauts 2 at all. Not one. Psychonauts 2 had no marketing. Probably, yeah. That's probably what did it. Yeah. Resident Evil 8 had tall vampire with big boob. That's true. Lady Dimitrescu she was very popular. Very, very popular. I feel like Death's Door also kind of went unnoticed as well this year. And yeah, I think everything else except Last Stand Aftermath, I think they all got advertised fine. So, Resident Evil Village walks away with the win. Next category is Best Action Game. Game with a focus on combat. Nominations were Metroid Dread, Persona 5 Strikers, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Returnal, Ratchet and Clank's Rift Apart, and Deathloop. Another tough category. This one, if I had the vote, would have been hard. This would have been, yeah, this one for me would have been pretty tough. I don't know which one I would have picked because I haven't played Ratchet and Clank, but I know I would already like it. I haven't played Returnal. I already know I would like it as well. And I played Dread and I loved it. So I played Persona 5 Strikers and I loved it. I played Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy and I also loved it. So this one would have been pretty hard, man. This is a hard category here. Hey, New Moon. Good morning. Good morning. And the winner is Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, taking up 8 of the votes. I was shocked by this, I gotta say, because the gameplay in Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy is easily the weakest part of the game, but it is an action game. So, no, yeah, Persona 5 Strikers was super close. One vote away from tying. One vote away. And then everything else was like Returnal outbeat Dread, which I was kind of shocked about. And I was shocked because any PlayStation 5 game, I'm shocked about their voting because I would think that most people wouldn't have a chance to actually play them. I mean, they could watch them for sure, but I mean, yeah, Ratchet and Clank came in at number 1. I mean, with one vote. So, one vote. One vote. I'm glad to hear you're doing all right, Breezy. But yeah, I loved Metroid Dread. I thought Metroid Dread would win this, to be honest. Um, I thought it was fantastic. I thought it I thought it was fantastic. I thought Persona 5 Strikers, I thought it was fantastic too. My biggest complaint was that it was shorter compared to its RPG counterparts, but they absolutely nailed turning a turn-based RPG into an action game, and it has its same identity. It looked like how it's like imagine Shin Megami Tensei and all the menuing we do, and it works as a Dynasty Warriors game. And Persona 5 does. Persona 5 Strikers does. I was blown away by how well they actually made the game work. It's crazy. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy was also really good. Its gameplay was easily its weakest attribute though, with the banter being the I think easily its best attribute. Um Returnal also I hear the gameplay is fantastic. I suspect Returnal wins if more people were able to play it. That's a problem with this year as well. Over all the award shows. And when I see people nominate or say their game of the year game is a PlayStation 5 game, I feel that not many people can relate. I have a PlayStation 5. I mean, I got it a month ago. Still haven't even played a game on it because we've been busy playing other stuff, right? But I haven't had time to play Returnal and Ratchet and Clank and all the other exclusive games on it. And that I feel like is majority of the people who see these games. I mean, no, it's I don't feel that way. It is. Majority of the people who want to play these games cannot play these games just cuz they don't have the possibility. So every category on every show that has PlayStation 5 games, they're kind of hampered. If it's community voting, they're kind of hampered. They're the underdog by default. Um, which kind of sucks, but it's nobody's fault, right? It's nobody's fault. I'm not surprised Deathloop's gameplay came in at number 1. I felt personally that Deathloop's gameplay was uninspiring. Um, I would say it's even worse than Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy easily. So it was pretty cool to see Guardians of the Galaxy win. It's nice that I will say it's so nice that this game turned out to be great. Guardians of the Galaxy, my god. I think when everybody saw the trailer at E3, everybody had Marvel's Avengers in the back of their mind like, "Oh god. Here we go again." The CJ meme. But man, talk about a Uno card. Like dude, it was way better than what one Marvel's Avengers could even hope to be, and two, way better than what anybody thought it was going to be at all. Everybody thought this game was gonna suck. It was fantastic, fantastic. So it's nice to see. Yeah, the E3 showing was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. They showed like 15 minutes of it. It was crazy. So pretty stacked category. All right, next category is best ongoing game. Games that came out a while ago, but are still delivering solid content. Nominations were Final Fantasy XIV, Apex Legends, Fortnite, League of Legends, Rainbow Six Siege, Minecraft, Dead by Daylight, and Maple Story. Maple Story. And the winner was Final Fantasy 14. Final Fantasy 14. Yeah, Maple Story it's still a thing. Yeah, it's still a thing. Taking up 8 of the votes. Losing Dead by Daylight was 1 vote away from tying with 7 votes. I would have picked Dead by Daylight, but I'm not surprised. You hear it like literally. They literally had to shut down. Not they literally had to stop selling Final Fantasy 14 a week ago. You cannot buy it. You cannot buy the base game on Steam. You cannot play the free to play, play the game the level 60 version of the game. You can't play it because they cannot accommodate for all the people who are trying to play the game because it's too popular. I don't think there's ever been an MMO in history that has had to stop selling because it can't accommodate for all the people trying to play the game. They have to they have to literally forego making profit because they can't accommodate for everyone because the game is so damn popular and successful. So, did what I'm not even shocked. Not even shocked. Plus they have Yoshi P, the producer Yoshi P, who's producing this game, who's also producing Final Fantasy 16, and and the dude is just you want that guy to be a producer of any game. That is literally what gamers want as a producer right there. That guy has gone that like above and beyond to try to connect with the community around Final Fantasy 14. He's interacted with regular players. He's interacted with well-known content creators and stuff like that. Like he's talked to I think like 2 months ago he's talked to like 30 of them for like an hour and a half or something to have an interview with all of them and stuff and just talk about the game and stuff like that. Like he's gone out of his way to try to make Final Fantasy 14 the best possible experience it can be. It can be. And dude's the dude's been caught crying so many times over the game. You can't have anyone better at the helm of Final Fantasy 16 than Yoshi P right now over at Square Enix. So, pretty good. Pretty good. Second place was Dead by Daylight. I was kind of shocked. I was kind of shocked Dead by Daylight got that high. I mean, it's been going on since 2016, so I was kind of shocked. I got to say, Siege got two votes unfortunately. Unfortunately. And Apex got 3. I wonder who voted for Apex. I think I have an idea who voted for Fortnite. So, yo, hey, Kitty, hey, Rain, Inferno Con, online service games. I play a fair bit of Dead by Daylight here. A fair bit. All right, next category is best multiplayer game. Best game with a focus on the multiplayer experience. Nominations are Halo Infinite, Back for Blood, Final Fantasy 14, It Takes Two, Monster Hunter Rise, Chivalry 2, Alien Fireteam Elite, and Battlefield 2042. I would say this is a stat category, but Battlefield 2042 is in here. Yeah. 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 And the winner is Back for Blood. Cleaning up shop, dude. With 10 votes out of the 26. Everybody voted in this category. It's the first category everybody voted in. 10 votes. Back for Blood. I can't believe that won over Halo, I gotta say. Especially with Halo being free. Um I'm not surprised Alien Team Fire didn't win. It seemed like it was a game that just didn't have enough content to warrant its release price. Even though I think it was only 40 bucks. Battlefield 2042 has had nothing but negative press. It looks nice, but that's about it. It's had nothing negative press. I don't think many people here played Chivalry 2. I've heard Chivalry 2 is a lot of fun, but I just don't think many people here played it. I haven't played it myself either. I've watched a couple of people play it. It looks like it's a lot of fun, especially the trailers. Looks like it's a lot of chaotic fun. Monster Hunter Rise, not really surprised when considered all it's competing against. I think World would have had a better chance. It Takes Two, as same as well. So the top three or the top four were really Halo Infinite, Back for Blood, Final Fantasy 14, and It Takes Two. So not really. I I don't know. I mean, I Back for Blood is not bad. It's a very good game. I don't think they did I don't think they did much wrong at all when I played it. We played it for 2 weeks in a row, or 2 weeks straight. I had a great time playing it. I bought the season's pass during the Steam sales. So I'm looking forward to when the new content for the Steam sales are coming out. Later down the or for the game later down the road whenever its roadmaps open up. So I had a great time. I haven't played too much Halo Infinite multiplayer though, and I think that's mainly just because I have a job outside of stream, so I can't. If I haven't played it on stream, I haven't played it. And two, there's just you can't play everything. You just can't play everything. There's just not enough time to play everything. Like I would have liked to play Chivalry 2. I would have. I originally planned to play Battlefield 2042, but just not enough time for everything. So not enough time. Maybe just more mission variety in Back for Blood. Um, I mean, it's about the same as like Left 4 Dead. They did this. I think they did the same that made them successful. I think that's what they did. They changed the aspect of the monsters recently, but yeah, who knows? Maybe they'll change it up more in the DLC. They're going to be adding new cleaners and new missions and stuff. So yeah, maybe. I was shocked Halo didn't win this and Final Fantasy 15 either. So, moving on. Next category is do 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 best role-playing game. Oh, really, Rogue? Or Rose, sorry. Best game with a focus on character customization and progression. I had a typo here. Rip. Nominations were Shin Megami Tensei 5, Tales of Arise, Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin, Neo: The World Ends with You, New World, Bravely Default 2, Valheim, and Werewolf: The Apocalypse Earth Blood. This made me realize actually how stacked for RPGs this year was. There was actually quite a bit good RPGs. The winner is Tales of Arise, baby. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Coming away with 11 of the votes. Damn, almost half. 42. Second place was Shin Megami. Shin Megami Tensei 5 was second place. Followed by Bravely Default 2 in third place. In fourth place was Monster Hunter Stories 2, New World, and Valheim. Unfortunately, Neo: The World Ends with You and Werewolf: The Apocalypse are in last. I'm not really surprised. Neo: The World Ends with You is just so niche. It's a niche game. It's a very, very niche game. It was released originally only on the Switch, I think, and got zero marketing. Relied on word of mouth for the game, and yeah, Square just did not want to market the game. I heard Bravely Default 2 is a very good RPG. Never heard of the first one. I'm not surprised New World didn't win because I heard New World is another game I've heard nothing but negative press about. It's another game I heard every week or every day. There's another thing broken about it. Um, and I think for the voting, I think Shin Megami was at the disadvantage of coming out later in the year. Uh, I think that's its biggest disadvantage against Tales of Arise and Monster Hunter Stories 2. The first three are all solid RPGs. Like you can't Monster Hunter Stories 2 is better than Pokemon, in my opinion. They it was the better Pokemon game, if you ask me. They just did everything right. There was so much content in the game to experience. There's so much free content they just gave away. No like $30 expansion, and they threw so much content at you to go do. Um, Shin Megami, really solid for what it does. It's very solid. But Tales of Arise? Oh, oh my god, winner of my heart. Oh, such a good game. I can just sit, man. I wish I could erase my brain to go replay it. I had such an incredible time playing this game this year. Ugh. We did everything you can do in it. Actually, I take it back. The only thing we didn't do was find 4 boxes out of 128 boxes. And I think there were
Thank
uh
you.
Oh man, I forgot New Worlds was a thing lol.
Yo, Nario, thank you for the resub. Thank you for the 55 whole months, man. Thank you so much. No, it's still like people still play it. People still play it. So yeah. Thank you for the 55 months. Square should have used the Tokyo Game Show for Neo the World's End with You instead of Life is Strange and Guardians. I think what they I think why they didn't advertise it is because they knew it wasn't going to sell. And they wanted to spread their money on something else instead. It's just it's a niche video game. It's like Shin Megami. Shin Megami is a niche video game. These games are gonna have harder times to sell. And like if Tales of Arise was a turn-based game, I would still say Tales of Arise is the more faced game for the industry than Shin Megami. Shin Megami just doesn't have the qualities that easily appeal to a consumer that Tales does. So, and I think Neo the World Ends with You has the same problems. They just don't have the qualities that easily appeal for people to buy. I'm shocked, honestly. I played the beta and have some hours on the release, but it felt so empty. I I didn't play it because it was an Amazon game. But I was never interested in playing New World myself, unfortunately. Yeah, but I heard it was pretty hollow after it officially came out. Hey, all right, Arg. Bravely Default was an incredible RPG, but I haven't played 2. It's unfortunate Monster Hunter Stories 2 didn't get more votes here, but that's okay. Next category. Hey, all right, Breezy, you have a good rest of your night. Hope you have a nice stream. Thank you. Thank you. Next category is Best Performance. Actor you felt delivered the best performance. Nominations were Jason Kelly as Colt Van in Deathloop, Erica Mori as Alex Chain in Life is Strange: True Colors, Maggie Robertson as Lady Dimitrescu in Resident Evil Village, Jennifer Howell as Rivet in Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Giancarlo Esposito as Anton Costello in Far Cry 6. And the winner was. I don't think anybody's shocked. Maggie Robertson as Lady Dimitrescu, cleaning up shop with 11 votes, followed by Anton Costello with 6. Coming in third place was Jason Kelly, sorry, and Erica Mori with Colt and Alex Chang. Not shocked here whatsoever. Like, is anyone shocked? No. She's like cleaning up shop with these best performance awards. Everybody loved I don't even like. I've been seeing some people criticize that she's not in the game long enough to win best performance, but that doesn't make sense. That's not what dictates best performance. I've been seeing people criticize that online. I think they got a different idea of what best performance is. I mean, she nailed her role. Lady Dimitrescu is not her acting and her performance is not. If you dislike Village, it's most likely not the point you dislike. It's most likely what they did with her instead that you dislike. But I feel like Jennifer Howell also, as we spoke earlier, had a tougher time in this, seeing as Ratchet and Clank is a PS5 exclusive game, so many people probably didn't get to see her performance or play her performance. Right? Could watch a stream about it, but there's potentially people who want to play the game themselves, so they probably didn't watch. I thought I thought Lady Dimitrescu did an amazing job. I can't speak on Jennifer because I didn't watch the game because I was waiting to play it. But I thought Anton Costello was great. I just wish he was in the game more often. But his performance was great. I thought the girl who played the main character in Life is Strange was also great as well. She that Alex was fantastic. And for me, Colt was the one I wouldn't have voted here. Mainly because with the two characters that talk together in Deathloop over and over again, being Colt and Julianne, they don't feel like they're actually talking to each other to me. Like his acting is not bad, but they just don't feel like they're talking to each other at all. To me, it feels like they're talking to a wall. Mm, honestly, a character who can lingering impressions with less on screen time is more impressive than one who's there every 10 minutes. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, no, that's very true. I think her winning though has more to do with her hype on media though. Um when they showed her, the internet loved her just cuz she was a tall ass lady with big ass titties. Let's all be honest here. That was like her big appeal. Everyone was making mommy milker jokes and getting crushed by her big boobs and stuff memes. I think that helped her immensely. But her performance was also amazing too. It was her performance was not bad. I don't think she had the worst performance of the game at all. I don't think her performance was the worst at all. So, Mega Roberts wins best performance. Next category is best score in music. Game score slash soundtrack you feel was the best. Nominations were Guardians of the Galaxy, Little Nightmares 2, Returnal, Deathloop, Subnautica Below Zero, The Artful Escape, and Final Fantasy 14. With the winner being Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Not really shocked here, as I've heard many people tell me that I need to replay the game with the DMCA mode off because the game feels entirely different because of the collection of songs that they use throughout the game. I have heard this many times. Many times. So I was not shocked here. Um, not at all. Not at all. Second place was Subnautica Below Zero. Third place was a tie between Returnal and Little Nightmares 2. Fourth place was a tie was well no. Fourth place was Deathloop and fifth place was The Artful Escape and Final Fantasy 14. I imagine Final Fantasy 14 has fantastic music. It's a Final Fantasy game. Square never goes wrong there. But I don't think many people around the channel play MMOs. At least if they do, they don't talk about it. The ones that do, they're really open about it, which makes me think not many people do. Because I have a good idea of who does play MMO. So I think that's why Final Fantasy 14's vote was low. Deathloop had great music. That's definitely not one of the downsides for the game for me. Its music was fantastic. Returnal, I hear its music is fantastic. Little Nightmares 2, music I hear is fantastic. Artful Escape, I did not hear about this game until Cut told me about it, unfortunately. And Subnautica Below Zero is very atmospheric as well. Their sounds and stuff was very good. Their sound design and everything was really good, but so was Marvel's. Marvel's was pretty great. Even without even with the DMCA soundtrack or DMCA mode on, it was still good. So their original songs they made were pretty good. Next category is Best Art Direction. Game you felt art style stand out among the rest. Nominations were Deathloop, Little Nightmares 2, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Metroid Dread, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Shin Megami Tensei 5. And the winner is Little Nightmares 2, taking 11 votes, 45%. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's almost half of all the votes right there. I'm not surprised. Anytime I watch Dan play this game, it is so immersive. It's so detailed with like what's going on, and you're focusing on the characters moving around in the game, but if you look at the background, there's so much going on in it. And it's not like a jumble mess either. It's like it's so fitting um in the style of the game. And it's like that the entire game. Their art design with the characters, with the environment and everything in the game, it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Um, I might have to play this game now that Dan just talks so much praise about it to me. I never played it, but I heard good things. Yeah, same here. I've watched Dan play Little Nightmares 1 and 2 quite a bit. Um, this was actually kind of hard. If I had a vote, this would actually be very difficult for me. I think, unfortunately, Shin Megami. I don't know. I don't know. Like all of these games, from what I've seen, are some of them little than others, like Ratchet. Like Metroid Dread looked fantastic. Its art style I thought was great. Um, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. I thought I was going to hate the original designs of the characters. I ended up liking them more than the movie versions. The environments looked great. The aliens looked great. The costumes on everybody looked fantastic. Same with Deathloop. Deathloop's art was definitely not one of its bad points in the game. Its presentation is easily its strongest attribute. It looks the part. Its 70s art style that it's going 60s 70s art style that it's going for looks really really cool. The environment looks really it's very detailed, looks really nice. But this would have been a very very hard category if I had to vote. So I'm glad I didn't have to vote on this one. But yeah, Little Nightmares 2 won Best Art Direction. It's nice to see that it won something, right? It's been nominated a lot of times, didn't win anything. Next category is Best Narrative slash Storytelling. Game you felt told its story the best. 10 nominations. Nominations were Life is Strange True Colors, Deathloop, Disco Elysium The Final Cut, Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker, Doom Eternal The Ancient Gods Part 2, It Takes Two, Psychonauts 2, 12 Minutes, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and Little Nightmares 2. Wait. Oh, I messed this up. And the winner is? Yeah, I messed that up actually. Life is Strange True Colors coming in with 6 votes. Not a mass This is a category that everybody voted in, so this is actually not a landslide victory like the last one. Um it walked away with 6. Second place was Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy with 5. Third was Endwalker actually. And then fourth was tied with so many. Doom Eternal, Deathloop, Disco Elysium, 12 Minutes, It Takes Two. Unfortunately, Psychonauts and Little Nightmares 2 were in last. Unfortunately. I think just many people didn't play Psychonauts 2, and I don't think many people here played Little Nightmares 2 as well. Um, I thought Life is Strange True Colors storytelling was fantastic, so I'm happy that it won. I felt Deathloop's arguably I didn't even play some of these games. I didn't play It Takes Two. I didn't play Psychonauts 2. I didn't play Little Nightmares 2. And I haven't played Endwalker. I haven't played Disco Elysium. But I would bet to say that compared to all those games, Deathloop's storytelling is the worst. So I was happy to see it not win. But yeah, no, Life is Strange True Colors was really great. It's a solid entry in the series. It's very good. It was very good. I was glad we played it. They nailed it. There was never a bad part in the game at all. And I remember when I found out that I missed stuff in the game, I was like, "No!" I was so distraught when we played it earlier this year. It was very good. It was very good. So glad to see that it walked away. It did its storytelling pretty good. Pretty good. So did Doom Eternal though. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy also surprised it didn't win this category because not necessarily the story, but the banter between the characters is so good. It's amazing in that game. Amazing. So, yep. Next category is best game direction. Game you felt nailed what it was trying to do the best. Now, I've heard some people say, like, why is there a game of the year in best game direction? We'll have that conversation later. But nominations were Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, It Takes Two, Psychonauts 2, Deathloop, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Returnal, Metroid Dread, Resident Evil Village, and Tales of Arise. This is pretty stacked, man. And the winner is Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Damn. Chat thought Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy was the best overall, best game direction. That is second place was actually Resident Evil Village. Third place was Metroid Dread and Tales of Arise. Fourth place was It Takes Two and Returnal. Fifth place was Ratchet and Clank and Psychonauts 2. I was kind of shocked that Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy would win this. I'm not gonna lie. It's a great game though. Even though I say its gameplay is the weakest, it's still a great game. It has so many other things that are going well for it that yeah, it's a great game. I'm not sure if I would have picked this game as my selection, but this is kind of hard between Returnal, Tales of Arise. I think for me, I would have picked Tales of Arise, but it's kind of unfair to Returnal and Ratchet and Clank, seeing as I haven't been able to play them, and I haven't played It Takes Two and Psychonauts 2. But Chat picked uh Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy as the winner. Hey, have a good night, Rose. Have a good night. Thanks for coming out to today's stream. Um, yeah, I don't know. I felt like Metroid Dread. I felt like Metroid Dread nailed what it was trying to do really well. I mean, it's trying to be what it's trying to be, right? Not trying to be what you want it to be. It's you accepting the game for what it is and it doing what it's trying to do the best, or what it's trying to do. And I felt like Metroid Dread nailed the Metroid formula. It it to me it worked. I also felt like Tales of Arise nailed the action RPG. It was very good. Right? I thought it was very very good. Resident Evil Village? I would say yeah. I would say yeah, it nailed what it did. It just wasn't my personal favorite RE game. I don't think it was a bad game. It's kind of hard to have, but I don't think Deathloop did. I think Deathloop failed on its storytelling and its gameplay. Uh, the gameplay to me, in my opinion, was too easy, and the storytelling was unsatisfying. At least to me. So, looking forward to giving Returnal and Ratchet and Clank a try. So, yes. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy walks away with Best Game Direction. All right, now moving on to the next category. Hey, Bubba, we're getting down to the big ones. We got the most anticipated game, the game you are looking forward to the most next year. Oh boy, it's a lot of stuff to look forward to. I think everything's a winner here, right? Wait, oh, I fucked it up. I messed it up. All right, I already see where I messed up. Um, Nominations are God of War Ragnarok, Skate 4, even though it says Yakuza Like a Dragon. Um, yeah, it's Skate 4. Elden Ring, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. I like how it doesn't even have its own name. Pokemon Legends, Starfield, Gotham Knights, Final Fantasy 16, Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl, Kerbal Space Program 2, Gran Turismo 7, Bayonetta 3, Splatoon 3, Marvel's Wolverine, and Hogwarts Legacy. And the winner was uh not even surprised. God of War Ragnarok, winning with 5 votes. Everybody voted in this category. This was second place was a tie between Starfield and Final Fantasy 16. That was very surprising to me. I feel like the hype for Starfield is like non-existent. Um at least to me it's not. Final Fantasy 16, for me, it's kind of hard not to be excited for a new Final Fantasy game. But like I said, every game in this list to me is a winner. I'm not so sure I would want to play Hogwarts Legacy myself, as I'm not a Harry Potter fan. And I'm not sure if I will play the Pokemon game, but I do know a lot of people are looking forward to that Pokemon game because the initial gameplay of it. But yeah, gotta War. It's not even surprising. I was surprised Elden Ring got as few votes as it did. It only got 2. I was kind of surprised it didn't get that many votes. Um, yeah, I think Skate 4 didn't get that many votes because it's not that talked about. Not at all. It hasn't been talked about and hasn't been presented like all these other ones. Not at all. But we got next year is going to be really good. We got a lot of good stuff coming out next year. A lot of good stuff. God of War, Skate 4, Elden Ring, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, the new Pokemon game, Starfield, Gotham Knights, Final Fantasy 16, Stalker 2, Space Program. I probably won't play that one. Gran Turismo 7, Bayonetta 3. I'm excited about that one. Splatoon 3, Marvel's Wolverine. Excited about that one too. I can't wait for that. Oh, man. It's good. Next year is gonna be great. It's gonna be pretty good. We got a lot of exciting stuff. A lot of exciting stuff. People didn't vote for Horizon. No one picked Horizon's Forbidden West, by the way. That was also a nomination. No one picked it. And there was another one that I am thinking right now, and I'm kind of forgetting. The Batman game, or I'm sorry, Suicide Squad. No one picked Suicide Squad either. So those games got no picks. God of War cannot get here sooner. Next category is the worst game of the year, and I wrote, you know. Yeah, worst game of the year. Category is, or I'm sorry, nominations are Battlefield 2042, Biomutant, the Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy Definitive Edition, Dungeons and Dragons: The Dark Alliance, and New World. And the winner was Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy Definitive Edition, taking over 52% of the votes. Ouch. This is the most voted. I think this is the second most voted category right here. Ouch, man. They dropped the ball on this game, on this. How do you mess it up so bad? How do you mess it up so bad? Oof. I'm not even surprised Dark Alliance only got one vote because nobody even heard about it. It came out, it was a massive, it was a flop, and then it faded into obscurity. New World, there are people that do like it, but it wasn't nearly as good as people thought it was going to be. Battlefield 22 is the same. There's people who are giving it negative reviews, but they've docked in like 300 hours into the game, so people are playing it, but they're not happy with it. And Biomutant was just overall a failure, unfortunately. It was a failure. What was the worst game for me? Seeing as I only played one game on this list, if I had to pick from this list, it would probably, if I had to pick from this list, it would probably be the Grand Theft Auto trilogy. If I have to pick from what I actually played this year, it would be Biomutant. Biomutant was the worst game I played this year, by far. It was the one of the two games that I didn't like this year. That's it. And I played 77 video games, and that was easily the worst one. And I mean, easily. It's bad. Three of the best regarding games in history as Blueprint, and they botched it. Yeah, like I've been following I've watched some videos on the history of this, the Grand Theft Auto trilogy. Rockstar just made dumb decisions, man. They just made dumb decisions. One, they ported over the mobile versions of the game, which are that's a dumb decision in itself because the mobile versions of the games were not the best versions of the game. Two, they what's the word I'm thinking? They the team that they had work on it, or they put in charge of working on it, was the team that worked on the mobile versions of the game. And those mobile versions of the games were not good. They weren't received that well. Um and that team had very little experience in doing what they were doing anyway. So that was weird. For some reason, they didn't want to work with the original games. I have no idea why they didn't want to work with the original games. But they blatantly what they did was, and the biggest problem is that the company that they had work on these games only had about like 20 employees. So that's the biggest issue here. Is the company that was in charge of porting these games only had about 20 employees. You can only do so much with so little time. They wanted to get this game out this year, for business reasons. I forget the reason why, but there was a business reason to have this game come out, and it just wasn't ready. It wasn't ready. They literally took the code of the mobile games, which was from an outdated game dev software, renderware, and they dropped it into Unreal, and that's why there's so many bugs in the games, and that's why it looks so bad. because they just literally copy pasted the code from one software to another and tried to fix up what they could because they just didn't have time to work on the game because Rockstar gave them an unrealistic release date because they wanted the game out before November so they can get the game out before their quarter was over. And that was the reason. That was the reason. They just they didn't handle it well. They used smart AI for the graphics, and that's why the graphics look terrible. So, yeah, they botched something that could have been it's unfortunate. And then what's also unfortunate about it is that they went the extra mile to one, delist the original games off all platforms. I don't think you can get the original games off on console or PC anywhere except their own launcher now. And that's only because they allowed it because of the disaster that this was. They purposely delist the original games, and then one, they started DMCAing modders. Earlier in the year, they started DMCAing modders and taking down their content in prep to releasing this because they wanted people to buy this because they didn't release much this year. So, and there was a lot of HD graphic mods that made the old games look really good that were way better than this. So, yeah, pretty shitty. Pretty shitty. Not really surprised that it's here. New World is a broken MMO. It's a very broken MMO. I don't think anyone cared about Dungeons and Dragons that after its first week. Battlefield 2042, unlike some of the other games, it still has people playing the game. And Biomutant had one of the one of the fastest return rates of a video game. It was actually pretty bad. That it was pretty sad for that dev team too. Uh, Game just lacked polish and focus, unfortunately. So, worst game of the year, Grand Theft Auto trilogy. Now we got the big one. Next category, game of the year. Game you felt was the best this year. Nominations were Hitman 3, It Takes Two, Deathloop, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Returnal, Resident Evil Village, Death's Door, Metroid Dread, Tales of Arise, Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin, and Little Nightmares 2. And the winner was Tales of Arise, coming in with 8 votes, taking 31% of the votes. This is also a category that everybody voted in. Who voted? Yeah, it's a victory for me. Coming in second place was Resident Evil Village, actually. Not surprising, seeing as it won a bunch of the other awards. Resident Evil Village, I think, won 2 or 3. But yeah, first place was Tales of Arise, taking up 8 of the votes of the 20, taking up 31% of the 26 votes. Resident Evil Village coming in second place, taking up 19% of the votes with 5. Third place was Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Those were the top 3. Tales of Arise, Resident Evil Village, and Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Tied for fourth place was Returnal and Monster Hunter Stories 2. And unfortunately, because there has to be someone in last, we have a massive tie. I think it's a 7-game tie for last place, which was Hitman 3, It Takes Two, Deathloop, Death's Door, Metroid Dread, and Little Nightmares 2. All tied for last. Out of all these games, Deathloop and Metroid Dread did not win, and Death's Door did not win any category they were nominated for. Not one. It Takes Two won best family game. Marvel's won 3 of them, I think. Resident Evil Village, I believe, won 2. Tales of Arise won 2. Little Nightmares won 1. And Monster Hunter Stories also did not win any as well. Neither did Returnal. Neither did Returnal. So that was I mean, this year, if we're gonna reflect on last year and this year definitely was not as stacked with games that had a lot of nostalgia. If you compare it to last year had Final Fantasy VII Remake. Last year also had Ghost of Tsushima, which was a new IP. It also had, what am I thinking? It had The Last of Us Part 2, which is huge nostalgia for people. And no game here on this list. The game that has the most lineage here is definitely Resident Evil Village in terms of how long the series has been around and the popularity of the series. Metroid Dread has always been a series, or Metroid has always been a series that's struggled to sell. Its last game was not good. Other M on the I think it was a Wii game. It was not good. The Tell's games have been around forever. They've been around before Final Fantasy was even a thing. But they've never had the success that Final Fantasy ever had. They never got that mainstream popularity. Hitman has been around for a long time. Long time. And their 3 latest games they've come out with have all been great. But they've never been games that get on the same level of popularity as, say, like Resident Evil. So, in terms of last year, we had a lot more games that had a lot more pedigree to them that came out last year. There was a lot of hype around The Last of Us Part 2. There was I mean, Final Fantasy VII Remake is literally a remake, a reimagining of one of the most like commonly accepted best video games created of all time, right? I don't think any game on this list even competes with those two in terms of just legacy. So it's kind of when you compare the two, it can definitely feel like this year is a little lacking, especially with the PlayStation 5. Every game last year people had a chance to play. There were no exclusive games locked behind consoles that were hard to obtain, right? Like Returnal. Um, you couldn't play it unless you had a PlayStation 5. Therefore, and they say they've sold 10 million PlayStation 5s, which that's not even 1/10 of the user base of the PlayStation 4. And the user base usually goes up, usually, because it went back on the PlayStation 3. It usually goes up. Every year we get more and more people in the gaming. So, unfortunate for all the PlayStation 5 games. Ratchet and Clank, Returnal. This was a year that some games that were probably very, very good, people just didn't get to play them, and that sucks. We didn't have that issue in 2019. Didn't have that issue in 2020, but 2021 was the year that there were some great games that people just could not actually play, which kind of sucks. That has to suck from a developer standpoint. You spend so long working on a game and you can't and people can't play it because of things that are outside of your control. That has to suck. That can't be the greatest feeling. And I think hopefully the cells of these games come around for them. And Zombiac's already working on Marvel's Spider-Man 2 and Marvel's Wolverine. So they're fine. But the dev team over at Returnal, I'm not sure if they've ever worked on anything else. So hopefully they see a return on for their games, because I hear Returnal's very fantastic. I am looking forward to playing it on stream when we have the time to play it. That is a game that I honestly think that is my most look forward to PlayStation 5 game is Returnal. I think I'm from what I've heard about it. I've never really been into Hitman. Me neither. Me neither. That's why it was a sub incentive for me. Because I've been very open about I'm never been interested in it, and I've always avoided playing it. Cut has always joked about trying to get me to play it, so I figured it wouldn't have made a bad sub incentive for the subathon we had back in November. So we will be playing it though, and we because we reached that sub incentive goal. We'll also be playing all the levels that were in Hitman 1 and Hitman 2 because I got them all. And we won't just be doing Hitman 3s. But yeah, I was never really big on Hitman either. Never played Blood Money, which I think was the most popular one for Hitman for a while. And they're making the next James Bond game. And I think that's great because the last 3 Hitman games have been fantastic. But I think it's also a gameplay style that just doesn't appeal to the masses. Compared to other games. The masses have a hard on for first person shooters. Again, like for first person shooters and third person shooter games, they do really well. Hitman's a third person game, but it's a slow methodical game where you're trying to plan out your moves and stuff. Those games that are like that, whether it's strategy games and stuff, they just don't do as well as the more action paced, fast paced games in general. So, and to play devil's advocate here, I read that Returnal was actually the highest game that was not completed. Apparently, for many people, Returnal was one of the hardest games to play for people who played it. I remember reading articles about that a couple days ago. So, harder than Metroid Dread, and people said Metroid Dread was really difficult too. It definitely can be. It definitely can be. It's roguelite, I think. Yeah, I think it is, yeah. Plus, you weren't able in Returnal, you can now, but you weren't able to save your run. You were basically committed to the run if because there was no save spots. Um, and if you're 3 hours in, your only option was to put your console in rest mode and hope that your internet doesn't flicker out or something. Because if it does, rip rip run. There was no save spots now. They've changed that. There's now save spots. But the people who initially played it, they had a way harder. I imagine they had a way harder time. Maybe even a different experience altogether. But I'm happy that Tales of Arise. I'm surprised you guys picked Tales of Arise. It's my game of the year. Easy. I've said it multiple times. It's my favorite game I played all year. But it was surprising to see chat's favorite game was Tales of Arise. I would like to replay it someday. It was so good. It's such a good game. But we are not done yet. We have one more category left, and it is you voted Resident Evil 8. I'm not surprised. And that is chat's favorite game streamed on the channel. Nominations were now these are the nominations out of 77 games that we streamed here on the channel. We played a lot of video games this year. A lot of repeats and a lot of new ones. So these are all the nominations that chat voted on. So there is every game we played except SMT was up for voting. SMT was ineligible because we started it after the voting was open. Unfortunately. But the nominations were Yakuza 5. We played that earlier in the year. They're all in actually I was going to say they're all in order of which we played, but that's not true. We played Yakuza 5 early in the year, like I think it was January in the year. Yakuza Like a Dragon again earlier in the year around February. Days Gone, I believe, was in March, I think. March or April. Biomutant was I don't even remember when we played it. Oh, we played it after Death Stranding, I think. Yeah, it was the game we played after Death Stranding, I think. Death Stranding, we did our second playthrough of Death Stranding this year, and it was so much fun. I can't wait for the third playthrough. Tales of Arise, my favorite game of the year. Far Cry 6, I had a blast playing it. We'll see if I have the same fun playing Far Cry 7. Back for Blood, had a fantastic time playing it. Fatal Frame Maiden of Blackwater, which I always want to call Maiden of the Blackwater. I thought this game was really cool. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I have to pick up the other Fatal Frame games now because I didn't think I was gonna like them, but I did. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, had a great time playing it. Dead by Daylight, always a fun time playing it. Resident Evil 3, literally my favorite Resident Evil game. I'm surprised you guys picked this. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard and Monster Hunter World. Funny that World made it and Rise didn't, seeing as Rise was actually released this year. So these were all games that we played this year on the channel here. A lot of variety. If you are new to my channel, if whether you've found me through Shin Megami Tensei, uh, or recently, I don't know how to make it. I'll just use this time. I don't know how to make it any more clear to people. Like I try to I put it in my bio and the about me and stuff like that, but I am a huge variety channel. There is no genre I stick to here. I am not an RPG only channel. I'm not a first person shooter. We are an extreme variety channel here. We play pretty much everything and everything on this channel. I try to make it as easy as people to identify, but I feel like that's one part of broadcasting that I fail at. Is I don't make my channel easily to identify for people, but I like to talk. I like to say it every now and then because some people they think they follow a channel and they think it's a specific way, but I am a variety channel through and through. Like multiplayer games, as much as heavy ass RPGs, as much as the walking sim that was Death Stranding. Ready. And the winner was Dead by Daylight. One person did not vote. I can only assume the one person who didn't vote is someone who's new to the channel. I can only assume that because they would have. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense to me. But yeah, I'm surprised you guys picked this. Yeah, DVD was we played what, like 800 hours on the channel? We played so much Dead by Daylight this year. So much Dead by Daylight this year. Dead by Daylight, honestly, is it's my second favorite game of the year. It literally. This year was my favorite year of DBD. This year had just I mean, we got Nemesis, we got Jill Valentine, my favorite character. I mean, literally, my favorite character, Nemesis, and my favorite one, Jill Valentine's the lead in my favorite game. The fact that we can play as both of them in Dead by Daylight is, oh, it's so cool. We could play as Leon in Dead by Daylight, and just it's just I don't know. Everyone loves this shit on DVD. Like if you follow the community, they love this shit on DVD for everything. But it was just so much fun. I had so much fun playing it. It's my most streamed game this year too. It's just a great year for DVD for me. It was fun. Every time I played it. Every time I played it. I think the funniest moments were during Dead by Daylight. Probably. It was just a great it was always great. I had a great time playing it every time I played it. I improved with this was the year that I finally started playing every killer in the game. I started playing every character in the game. I'm decent with every character now, all 27 killers in the game. We started learning about everyone. I always teach the game to people who always ask and have questions and stuff. Like it's just DVD is it's easily my favorite reoccurring streamed game. Easily. And this was just the greatest year for it for me since starting playing it, I think back in 2019.